Removing and replacing the rear wheel on your road bike can seem quite tricky, but fortunately it is a simple skill to master when you know how to do it. So there's no reason why you can't do it, or in fact why you'd need to spend an embarrassing few minutes in a car park in front of an ever-increasing audience trying desperately to get it back in. There's a technique to it, so here's how to do it. Firstly, you need to change into your hardest gear, so the smallest cog at the back. And that means that the rear wheel will come out much easier, as the chain won't get caught on it when it's coming out. Then you may well have to open the brakes out slightly to allow more room for the tyre to pass between the brake pads. So to do that, you're likely to have a little lever on the side of the caliper just down here. Now you either give it a twist or you lift it, depending on which manufacturer's brakes you've got, and you'll see that there's just a little bit more clearance between the pads and the wheel. So then with your chain in the smallest cog at the back and your brakes open the quick release. There's no need to unwind it at all for your back wheel. There'll be enough room now for the wheel to just drop out. Next, hold on to the top tube here, and then with your other hand, reach down and just pull the rear derailleur backwards ever so slightly, and then lift up with your hands, and you'll see the back wheel just drops straight out. And with your other hand, grab hold of the back wheel and just unhook the chain. There you go, back wheel's off. To replace it, simply reverse the procedure. Put your back wheel on the floor, and then using your hand that's on the frame, just guide the lower loop of chain underneath the sprockets, and then just rest the derailleur on that smallest sprocket, and then push the derailleur back again with that other hand, and the back wheel will just drop in. Now if it doesn't go in straight away, you might just need to give it a little nudge. So just take hold of the quick release and maybe just tweak it sideways slightly. That's all it'll need. Now just make sure that the back wheel is in squarely. You can tell by looking between the brake calipers to make sure there's the same amount of room on either side, but also crucially, the little bit of frame down here. So you can see very easily whether it's in straight. When it is, then you close the quick release lever. Now it should be at the right tension because you haven't moved it, remember? But to double check, you shouldn't ever have to really force the quick release shut. It should be firm but not too tight. If it is too tight, then potentially there's the risk that the quick release will actually break, but it is unlikely. Finally then, just close your rear brakes up and give the back wheel a spin just to make sure that it is definitely not rubbing. And there you go. A very, very simple process when you know how. Now, if you want to see exactly what to do with your back wheel off, such as maybe fixing a puncture, then you can get through to a video just by clicking up there. But for another common complaint, if your gears are jumping around and they're just not quite working properly, then we've got a video about how to index them. You can get through to that by clicking down there. Otherwise, just click on me, subscribe to GCN to make sure you don't miss any other mechanical videos. Well.